We know Pac-Man eats dots, but is he actually the philosophical, power pellet-guzzling Khal of Homer Simpson, or just a very confused yellow pancake? Forget the ghosts. The true terror, the real mashkhala, is understanding how the arcade machine perfectly mirrors our cyclical, meaningless pursuit of high scores and cherry bonuses.
Welcome, seekers of deep digital wisdom, to a profound yet utterly unnecessary philosophical exploration. We talk today about the eternal hunger, the endless chase, and the ultimate question. What is the meaning of life when all you do is eat dots and occasionally metabolize a ghost? We are, of course, discussing Pac-Man. Before he was a cultural icon, he was simply an algorithm of desire, a yellow circle fleeing the spectral manifestations of anxiety. It's a tragedy, really, disguised as a cheerful arcade game. Think about it. Our hero is trapped in an existential maze, driven only by consumption. It's the perfect microcosm of late-stage capitalism, rendered in glorious 8-bit graphics. What a brilliant accidental masterpiece! Now, let's start the research. Yalla.
The genesis of this yellow deity began not in some dark, smoky arcade, but in the mind of Toru Iwatani at Namco. Iwatani felt the arcades of 1979 were far too violent, too focused on destruction and shooting. Games like Space Invaders dominated, appealing primarily to young men. Iwatani, in a stroke of genius marketing, wanted to create a game that appealed equally to women, making arcades friendlier and more inviting. This, my friends, is why Pac-Man isn't carrying a laser rifle. He's carrying the burden of broadening market demographics. He is the original diversity hire of the gaming world, a revolutionary figure demanding inclusivity through consumption.
So where does the iconic chomping shape come from? The official beautiful truth is that Pac-Man was inspired by a pizza. Iwatani was out to lunch with colleagues. He grabbed the slice of pizza, leaving the rest of the pie with a conspicuous hole, a perfect open mouth. He saw it and realized, this is the core engine of my game. This is the profound moment where food transcended nutrition and became character design. It's truly tayyib thinking. The simple act of hunger materialized into the most recognizable video game sprite ever created. Imagine if he'd ordered sushi, we might have been chasing seaweed squares instead. The sheer serendipity of carbohydrate consumption guiding artistic vision is breathtaking.
The game was initially released in Japan in May 1980 under the name Pac-Man. The name derives from the Japanese onomatopoeia paku paku, which describes the sound of opening and closing the mouth rapidly, the chomping sound. It was an instant hit, but perhaps more importantly, it introduced a new paradigm. Pac-Man wasn't just about shooting, it was about navigation, pattern recognition, and managing resources, the power pellets. It forced players to think strategically about movement, a concept previously less emphasized in high-score chasing shooters. It was a cognitive shift, wrapped in bright yellow plastic.
When Midway licensed the game for the American market later in 1980, they faced a serious, perhaps overly cautious, marketing dilemma. They realized that if American teenagers got hold of the cabinet, they might quickly deface the P in Pac-Man to an F. Thus, the risk of having thousands of machines proudly displaying a 4-letter obscenity across America was too great. And so, Pac-Man died, and the mighty Pac-Man was born. It's an inspiring story about the necessity of preserving public decency by changing one letter. The philosophical takeaway: vandalism dictates capitalism. Think about that the next time you eat a power pellet.
Let's pivot to the 4 spectral adversaries. They are not merely enemies, they are psychological profiles. We start with Blinky, the red ghost, officially known as Shadow. Blinky is the most predictable, but also the most relentless. His algorithm dictates that he chases Pac-Man directly. He represents pure, unadulterated obsession. He is the manifestation of that friend who always knows where you are and desperately needs to talk about his crypto portfolio. He is the shadow Pac-Man can never truly escape, the consequence of eternal consumption, always closing the gap. He is pure programmed determination.
Next is Pinky, the pink ghost, whose official name is Speedy. Don't be fooled by the name. Pinky doesn't chase where Pac-Man is, Pinky chases where Pac-Man will be. She targets a tile 4 spaces ahead of Pac-Man, cutting off routes and setting up ambushes. She is the strategic planner, the forward thinker, the one who books the restaurant reservation 2 weeks in advance. Pinky embodies the anxiety of future events, the fear of the roadblock we haven't even seen yet. If Blinky is now, Pinky is tomorrow, always ready to intercept your immediate joy. She is the true chess player of the maze.
Now we encounter Inky, the cyan ghost, whose official name is Bashful. He is the most complex, the most emotionally unstable of the group. Inky's target is calculated using both Pac-Man's position and Blinky's position. His behavior is therefore highly situational and unpredictable. One moment he's fleeing, the next he's cornering you, depending on Blinky's proximity. He is the ultimate fence-sitter, the friend who only joins the party if the popular kid is there. Inky represents social anxiety and the fickleness of collaborative attack. You never know what you're getting with Inky. He is the chaos factor, the wild card. He is truly Habibi, confused but colorful.
Finally, we meet Clyde, the orange ghost, officially called Porky. Clyde is the existential stumbler. His AI is designed to chase Pac-Man directly, much like Blinky, but only if he is far away from Pac-Man. Once he gets within 8 tiles, he breaks off the chase and retreats to his corner of the maze, entering scatter mode. Clyde is the ghost who gives up easily. He represents procrastination, the inability to commit to the chase, the person who realizes they forgot their wallet halfway through the marathon. He is too afraid to commit to villainy, making him simultaneously the safest and most irritating adversary. He just wants to go home. We salute his lazy spirit.
Pac-Man was not just a game, it was a societal event. By 1982, the game had generated over $1 billion in revenue, and that's just from quarters shoved into cabinets. It broke sales records and became the first official gaming mascot, long before Mario donned his overalls. This humble pizza slice of a character became a pop culture icon, spawning cartoons, merchandising, and even a hit song by Buckner and Garcia, Pac-Man Fever, which reached number 9 on the Billboard Hot 100 in 1982. It proved that video games could be mainstream, profitable, and family-friendly. It was a golden age of dots and coins. Mabruk to Namco.
Now for the burning philosophical query that brought us all here. Is Pac-Man related to the Simpsons family? After all, he is intensely, unapologetically yellow. Homer Simpson is intensely, unapologetically yellow. Is Pac-Man some long-lost cousin who fled Springfield to pursue a career in high-octane maize consumption? Perhaps he is the result of Homer accidentally leaving a radioactive donut near a pizza box? This is deeply satisfying nonsense, and I admit it. The real reason he's yellow, according to Iwatani, was simply to make him stand out from the black background and the bright color of the ghosts. Aesthetic necessity, not familial genetics.
Let's put on our history hats and debunk this hilarious theory with cold, hard facts. Pac-Man debuted in 1980. The Simpsons, in their earliest form as shorts on The Tracy Ullman Show, debuted in 1987. The Simpsons full series arrived in 1989. Pac-Man predates The Simpsons by nearly a decade. So unless Homer or Marsh traveled back in time, conceived Pac-Man, and abandoned him in Japan, the family link is purely coincidental yellow parallelism. It's like saying the sun is related to a banana. They are both yellow, but the sun is decidedly less peelable. Case closed on the family tree argument.
Let's shift back to the maze mechanics. One of the most fascinating aspects is the tunnel, the black gaps on the left and right sides of the screen that instantly transport Pac-Man or a ghost to the opposite side. This isn't just a convenient shortcut, it's a brilliant conceptualization of continuous space. It's an early, playful introduction to the concept of topology and non-Euclidean geometry in video games. Pac-Man routinely bends the laws of physics just to get to the next dot.
It demonstrates that when consumption is your primary drive, reality itself must warp to accommodate your hunger. The maze is finite, but the tunnels imply an infinite, wrapping universe.
El power pellet is perhaps the most crucial item in Pac-Man's arsenal. For a brief, terrifying few seconds, the natural order is reversed. The hunter becomes the hunted, and the aggressive patterned ghosts turn blue and flee in terror. This represents the temporary but necessary reversal of power dynamics in life. It's the moment of clarity, the adrenaline rush, the brief taste of omnipotence before reality snaps back. It teaches us a crucial lesson. Your power is temporary, so exploit it quickly. And remember, the ghosts aren't just fleeing, they're entering fright mode. Even spectral anxiety is afraid of a supercharged carbohydrate eater.
Did you know the ghosts don't chase Pac-Man indefinitely? Every level cycle includes periods where all 4 ghosts retreat to their specific corners of the maze, entering scatter mode. This is a necessary psychological break. It prevents the game from becoming an unwinnable, chaotic frenzy. Philosophically, it shows that even relentless pursuit requires boundaries and downtime. The game forces the villains to pause, recollect, and strategize their next attack. It's a built-in mechanism for self-care, a crucial life lesson from a game about eating yellow circles. They need their corner time before they can chase the protagonist again.
The game, like all things in the 8-bit era, has an end, or rather, a terminal point of failure. Level 256 is the famous kill screen. Due to an overflow error in the game's code, which uses an 8-bit register to store the level number, the game attempts to load level 256, but instead, half the screen loads up garbage code and symbols. The maze becomes unusable. This is not a defeat, it is the moment the matrix breaks. It teaches us that even the most well-designed system, driven by consumption, eventually collapses under the weight of its own numerical limits. The philosophical implication is clear. You can't eat dots forever. Eventually, the machine itself says, enough, khalas.
Despite the kill screen, Pac-Man endured. He is a testament to simple, brilliant design. His legacy isn't just about high scores, it's about pioneering the maze genre, introducing the first successful stealth element in gaming, ghost consumption, and proving that video games could be accessible to everyone. He transcended the pixels and became a symbol of the 1980s. He is forever doomed to run, eat, and flee spectral anxiety, but in his eternal motion he found meaning. He is the first true digital tragic hero. And look, no relation to The Simpsons. They're just 2 separate beautiful blobs of yellow pop culture.
So there you have it, the inspirational, humorous, and factually accurate journey of Pac-Man. He started as a pizza slice, avoided being called Fuckman, taught us about strategic retreat, and accidentally revolutionized an entire industry. His yellow color was merely a choice of contrast, not a genetic link to Matt Groening's famous family. Next time you see that yellow circle, remember the depth of his simple existence. He is us, perpetually consuming, perpetually running, occasionally stumbling, but always coming back for the next level. Thank you for seeking digital enlightenment. Now go forth and conquer your maze.
What?